Hello, Dale.
Hi, Don.
And how are you today?
Good.
Your Christmas tree's still up.
Uh, yes, it is. It's William's Christmas tree. This is the library where Ray used to live.
Ah, okay. So Bernie's coming along with his car.
Haven't talked to him too much, and I got myself on mute, but I know I hit the space bar whenever I want to talk. Yeah, I was wondering if we were going to go over there today because Denny wanted to drive somewhere because it was warm, but then when I called him, he said he was tired.
I had the bug eye out. I think it was Monday. I was cleaning out the garage and it was nice to hear that little bug.
I kicked myself in the butt. Was a week and a half ago. It was 70 degrees, and I didn't get the car out. So I might do it tomorrow before it rains.
Mm-hmm.
I just emailed about 30 guys in the club, so I don't know what's going on.
Well, we have our luncheon coming up.
Yeah, it's going to be at Ford's Garage. It's a little noisy in there, but we're going to have it on what, the 28th, I think it is.
Yep. I'm looking forward to it.
Are you the monitor tonight?
No.
Okay, because I know I've done this in the past and we made it so you had to be invited because once we had some people hack us, like, so I just want, who is the monitor?
It might be Jake.
Can you all see and hear me?
Yes. And what's your
Okay.
name?
This is Ed or Edward, I guess it's on there.
Okay.
Excellent.
And didn't you have a question?
I did. I sent it to Jake.
Yeah, I sent one to Jake too, and I'm gonna go make myself a drink and be back. Hi, Jake.
Hello. I'm experiencing technical difficulties. So, so I got two different computers going on. So, and I'm not smart enough to do one. So bear with me for a while. So I guess we're a little early. No, no, shit. Okay. Anyway.
Hi, Greg.
Hey, I'm working off of two different computers, and so I'm not really knowing what I'm doing, but at least I got this one on. And I got a guy that sent me stuff. Actually, I got like 5 questions.
Right?
My issue is going to be is I don't know how to share the screen, and
There we go.
my info's on my laptop, but I had to sign in Zoom with this iPad thing. So we're just going to have to wing it. Um,
Okay.
And Jake, I sent you a couple of pictures about an hour ago, so you probably even haven't even seen those yet. So
yeah, that's on a different. Anyway, so
that was my mistake.
um, huh, all right. Edward. All right, Edward, you sent me Ed.
Yeah.
You got the 5706
106 BN4. 57,
BN4,
yeah.
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 So I didn't know if that was from last month's call or this month's, but anyway, I got it on the first thing.
Okay.
I am not gonna be able, unless I play a little more, to share that, but we can talk about it.
Sure.
Um
That's fine.
because I'm on like two different, and let me see if I can pull the email up. So there. All right. Well, there's some people showing up. There's eyeballs here. All right, this is good. All right, so let me see if I can. Ooh. All right. I don't know if I'm going to be able.
You're still 2 minutes early anyway.
All right.
That's true.
All right. Shit. All right. See, my problem is I got too many Gmail accounts, and I'm on two different. I couldn't get my camera to work on my laptop system, and I bought another monitor simply to make it better. But anyway, that'd be for the next one.
There you go.
Whatever. Okay. All right, looks like Jeff showed up. Don's here. Paulette, how you doing?
How are you?
I'm good. But I got 5 questions so we'll definitely have something to talk about. And I sent some of it um, to Jeff and to Don as a precursor so they can be noodling on the questions.
Good idea.
Yeah. And I'm better organized than I was last time, but not quite where I need to be for prime time.
The learning experience.
Yes, yeah. Uh, okay, people are starting to show up. Okay, and I think so. Mr. Cobra, I guess that link worked. I see Cobra, and I sent an email just like 5 minutes ago. I take it that was to you.
Yes, that was to me, and it did work.
Okay.
I just got to get
Well-
my name changed in it, and I should be fine after that. And save the
right.
link somewhere else on my system here.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a new computer I just got for Christmas, so I'm trying to update everything. The name is Mark.
Mark. Okay.
Hey, Jake, do you have this set up as a recurring Zoom? So it's going to be the same every month?
Yeah, that I was able to do way back when. So
Perfect.
this is actually the second reoccurring one.
Yep.
Hopefully the next
Makes it so
cycle
much
I'll
easier.
Please, yeah, and then yeah, so it's at least all I now have to do is sign into Zoom, and it at least gets me here. And now I got to get my primary computer for the camera and stuff to work. So that's the next thing. So I'm on the Zoom system through an iPad, but all of my emails and everything are is on my laptop, and I can see it, but you can't, and I can't show it on the screen and stuff. So, but we'll work through it because we did get a couple. I got a couple pictures. Bob sent me a picture and stuff. So I think with that, it's 7 o'clock.
Hi, Bob.
Yeah. Okay.
Afternoon.
So, like compared to last time, I did check the Gmail email that's set up for this, and lo and behold, there's some questions in there and stuff. So I got 5 of them that we can kind of go off, and then we can go from there. But I got a question from Ed Barnett. I got Steve Wagner and Steve on. I saw Steve here. And then Mitch Simmons sent a question in. Dale's got a question. Peter's got a question. And Bob's got a question. So
Jake, the Steve is Steve Halleck.
Steve Halley.
I can't get my camera to work.
All right.
That was my problem
Oh.
last time.
So that's not Wagner. You're yeah. So well, let's just get moving. So Ed, do you want me to read this, or do you want to tell them what you're asking about?
Yeah, go ahead and read it, and then I'll fill in any
Yeah,
details.
Ed's from Indy, and he's got a 57. What? Do what? Okay. He's got a 57106 BN4, and he's from Indy. And he's got a sticking accelerator pedal with linkage. He says, like, when moving off slowly or in traffic, there's a spot early on when depressing the accelerator, I get a resistance, and then it will release and throw us back into the seat. I'm unable to accelerate smoothly. It does not seem like a fuel starvation issue. If I accelerate more aggressively, I don't notice it. and I get a smooth increase in RPMs. I can replicate it when not driving. I can move the pedal by hand and move the linkage in the engine bay and don't feel any resistance. The only thing I can find that may be a factor is that the linkage in the engine bay seems to be a very acute angle. And I wonder if the resistance I'm getting is from breaking over that steep angle, and I haven't tried adjusting that yet. Did that come through okay?
That pretty much sums it up. Yeah.
All right.
I'd try adjusting it.
Adjusting the that linkage.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of what I'm wondering, because it's a pretty tight angle. And that's what I wonder if maybe at some point when it was worked on before we had it, somebody adjusted it and made that really tight.
Yeah. Loosen it up and move it a little tiny bit and retighten it.
Yeah.
Can always
Yeah.
move it back.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't seem to be in the cabin. The everything moves smoothly in the cabin. It just.
So
Well,
does
you
the
can-
100?
You don't have any kinks in your throttle cable or anything.
Well, I don't know
No.
if there's.
Well,
does-
there's no cable.
Yeah,
it's
no.
all
I was going to
linked.
ask: does the 106 have that trapeze? Like I've got a BJ8, and it's got that trapeze. With all those levers and stuff that comes underneath out of the firewall,
Right.
and I'm trying to remember because I got rid of that and I've got fuel injection now, so I do have a cable. But
Mhm.
Don, I know you've got a earlier car.
Yes. Yeah, there's pictures in the big Healy books, manuals on what that's supposed to look like and the different angles. And
Okay.
it's probably way too sharp. So
Um,
somebody in Indianapolis should have a nice book that shows you the angles that it's supposed to be at.
I've got a couple books. I need to look in that and see if I've got one of those. But that angle is probably 15 degrees.
Jake, mute Chris Watson.
There
There you go.
go.
Yeah, if you're not speaking, it's best to have your phone on mute, your computer on mute.
It's
on
mute.
Then just
Yeah,
hit the
thank you.
space bar when you want to talk.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard me, but that angle is probably about 15 degrees. It's really tight. So
Okay.
I'll see if I can find those pictures.
Yeah, if you, anybody up there has a tech talk by Norman Knock on page 203 is some of the linkage and the way that it's supposed to look.
Okay.
Yeah, and if
Good.
Thank you, Jerry.
yeah, and what Don's talking about is Norman Knock puts out from British Car Specialist. His dad did a series of tech tips back in the day, and they put it in a spiral notebook.
You can see.
And
They're all older.
and they're wonderful though. I mean, and he's got it on a lot of different things. And if you can usually find them at at one of the meets, somebody brings them in or whatever. But if not, you call up British Car Specialist, and I don't know. I think he sells them for $25 or $50, but they are well worth it.
Okay.
If you got a big Healy, it's all big Healy stuff, and it's all really neat little tidbits. And it's a good read, and you don't have to set it in front of a computer to look at it. You can take it into the throne room and page it and enjoy it like the old days.
Okay.
And I have a couple of copies of that book, so I can bring it
excellent.
to our next meeting.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So
I will. I will fill you in on the progress.
okay. Next, we'll be looking for a report next call.
Okay.
Ken?
So is Steve Wegner on the phone? Did Steve? All right. How about Mitch Simmons? Is Mitch? Is I don't see it. I see a. Okay, so Dale. Dale was. I know Dale's here. Dale was asking about. He said, "Did anyone successfully design a clutch cable conversion for the Big Healy? Do you think it's necessary? And do all Healys spit out black water? Should owners drill a hole in the pipe or anything?" So why don't you, Dale? Why don't you go from there?
Yeah, we have a member, Jim Weckenbrock, who had clutch slipping problems, and I've got a Jensen Healy with the cable, so that's the only reason I threw the cable thing out there. Obviously, Don Healy's a lot smarter than all of us, and he designed it hydraulic. But is there anybody who ever thought it would be a good idea to use a cable on a Big Healy? Yes or no?
That would be kind of a difficult one to fabricate, wouldn't it?
What? Yes, I hope so.
Yeah. I get that. I get the question. The idea that nobody's ever come across that. I haven't.
It was, and then I lost it.
Okay,
Jake,
you can forget that.
it says iPhone. I would mute iPhone.
Okay, is that me?
No,
I think it's John Andorn.
it just says iPhone.
Who's on the iPhone?
You are.
Yeah, there
Okay,
you go.
John
thank
is.
you. There you go. Maybe.
Yep, it was muted a minute ago. Mute again. Only come off mute when you need to speak.
Yeah, that's John Andorn. He's trying to get his picture working, his camera working, I'm sure. So that
Okay.
was just a kind of a weird question. Now, the other question was, and I see Paulette Lonsdale's on there. One time she was driving Miss Piggy, and she says, "I'm going to start this up. You might want to move." And I said, "Go ahead, start it." And I was blocking the car behind her with my leg, and my leg turned black. So is it a good idea, or is it possible that would help if you would drill a hole in the bottom of the pipes that go, straight up the back there, where they could drip out the water instead of shooting it out, and covering the people behind you? Is that a good idea or a bad idea?
Wow, I don't know.
Has anybody else ever covered the car behind them with black
Hey, Dale.
raindrop?
No, other people have.
Well, I just had the idea of a brainstorm there where
There
you
you
just
go.
drill holes, let the water drip out the bottom. I don't think much exhaust would come out. It's just maybe the nasty water. Okay, I'm
If
going to
you're
get a
doing
patent
much-
on that. I'm
Some,
gonna get a
some
patent.
of what's coming out there, Dale, is collected in the mufflers, and that's why mufflers often have weep holes in them. And, but I don't think you could, by just drilling a couple of holes at the low point, of the actual pipes, have enough, coagulation of water right there to make any difference. Because at that point, the die's been cast and it's all got to come out somewhere, and it's a path of least resistance thing. So it's going to come out the end of the exhaust pipe all over your legs and everybody else's legs, and that's just part of the fun.
Okay, that's what I figured, and I make sure I won't do that again.
Blah, 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 blah.
Chris Watson, can you mute your phone? Chris Watson,
Yeah.
thank you.
That's all I had.
I don't. Come here a second.
All right.
Said it was muted.
I know, but
So my other question came from Bob. I know Bob's on here, aren't you? Yep. Bob
Yep.
Bob Haskell. He's got a 62 tricarb, and it was a pretty good set of paragraphs. I condensed them down. You had questions about the gaskets and the
Why,
heat
that's 'cause
shields
I
and stuff. So
turned it.
Bob, why don't you kind of enlighten the group about what you're looking for?
Yeah, what I found after taking the carburetors off was that the gaskets on either side of the heat shield had failed. They had torn at the holes where they go over the studs on the intake manifolds. And I guess and one actually slipped down, so it was blocking the intake port. And I guess I'm trying to figure out why. The only thing I've thought of is that I redid the heat shield using the Moss kit that uses hardy board for the two heat shield panels, and they're pretty heavy compared to the original asbestos. So I'm just wondering if the heat shield's just moving or flexing. It just allows the gaskets to move. What I thought I would do would be I'd used half-height nylocks to hold the carburetors onto the manifold. I thought I'd increase the length of the studs and use full height nylock nuts, and then the intake manifold and the heat shield have 4 holes or 4 threaded holes. The carburetors only use 2. So I thought maybe I might use the 2 additional holes with some bolts to hold the intake or hold the heat shield in place. But just
so these are the gaskets. They're the gaskets that go over the studs of the intake that the carburetor slides over on. Yeah, I know you put like one on the front, one on the back, and the heat shield, and then some of them have blocks.
Yep.
And
yeah, so you've got the intake manifold, a gasket, heat shield, another gasket,
yeah.
then a 1/4 inch insulating piece, and then another gasket, and then the carburetor. So the 2 gaskets on either side of the heat shield were what failed. On the front and center carburetors.
Hey, Jake, could I comment on that?
Yeah, absolutely. This is it's free. Go for it.
Okay. I guess first of all, thank you for your the loan of your heat shield to redo. And when I did that with the Moss kit, and I used that insulating board on both sides of the heat shield, I found that there was an interference fit from the bolts on the exhaust manifold that impacted the cement board on the closest side to the engine. So in order to keep everything tight, I had to carefully mark those spots and relieve the back cement board where the heads of those bolts went in, and that really took care of the leakage. The only other time that I had what you're describing, where the gasket actually swung down into the intake, was when I removed the carburetor. One time when I was removing the carburetors, one of the bolts for the carburetor came out of the intake manifold. with the carburetor. So what happened then was the alignment was off, and I missed a hole, and part of the gasket swung down and pretty much destroyed the gasket. Trying to just put it back together again. So that was the only way I had the issue with the gaskets, but also had the issue with the tightness of the whole system because of the interference fit on that back piece of cement board from the exhaust, the bolts of the exhaust headers.
Okay, if the board is contacting the studs, or the bolts on the exhaust manifold, it ought to leave a mark. So I'll have a look at that. Yeah, as far as the gaskets go, they were certainly torn. So it just, I don't think it was from one during installation, but I don't know. I'll have to see.
Okay, Bob, I've got a tri-car, but it's behind me and it's all apart. And I've got some of the pieces here. And my gasket here is thick. It's a nice thick gasket. And you've got the big heavy spacer pieces.
Yeah.
Nice and thick.
Yep.
Okay. The ones in the picture that you sent were nice and thin.
Well, that's what you get today.
Okay, there are times that I put several gaskets on there. I want as much room as I can in the whole system to get good flow. So maybe something like that would help. And then you also talked about the asbestos piece with 2 holes in it that keep the intake manifold off the exhaust manifold.
Scott did. I don't think I did.
Okay. That's one of these things.
Oh, those, well, yes, those separate those are the insulating pieces that go between the intake manifolds and the exhaust manifolds.
Yeah.
And yes, I do have those.
Okay.
No, I was talking about the insulating material that's on the heat shield itself, which initially was asbestos, from the factory, and the Moss kit that I used is I think it's a hardy board.
Hardy board, yeah.
So it's quite heavier than the asbestos was.
Okay, and you were talking about the 4 holes in the intake manifold area.
Yeah,
okay, and we only use 2
on the carburetors, right? So
yes.
That leaves 2 holes that I could put bolts in to snug the heat shield to the intake manifold to keep it from moving any, to lessen the chance of it moving.
Yes, but those 4 holes, they mark. You can mount a HD6 on there.
Yeah.
So 1 3/4 inch carburetor.
Right. But yeah, don't plan to change carbs at this point. But
okay, so I hope that helped your question.
All right, thank you.
Before you go, Bob, I know in your email you said you don't like spring washers. And I want to know, because Tim Ross don't like them either, and your guys are both engineers. So why don't you guys like spring washers? Just as a curious question from
they're not stiff enough. I mean, the one, once the joint loosens up enough that the spring washer actually is no longer flat, the joint's already failed.
Okay. And the nylocks don't allow that to happen? I'm just
Well,
for
yeah, I think the nylocks work better, but
better.
let me, I've got a series of books from Carol Smith, who was a race car builder, designer. I'll copy a section out of the book that talks his thoughts on spring washers, and I'll send it to you.
All right. I'm just curious because Tim will give you dissertations, and also Peter, or I think not Peter. That's terrible. Help me out, Scott.
Richard Pratt?
Richard, that's it. Richard to give you dissertations on it as well. But so I'm seeing a thread that engineers don't like spring washers, is what I'm just testing that for us lay people. Anyway, so let's see. Go back. Did Steve Wagner ever get on? Wagner? I guess nope. And is it? I had a question that was sent to me from Mitch Simmons. Is Mitch on? Or am I'm jumping around? Yeah. Okay. Well, and then Peter had a question about does anyone have any experience installing FirePass? The guy out
Yeah,
in California.
I'll share my screen.
Yes.
You should be seeing this. So, is it Steve Kirby's taking this over from Putski, who used to have these. I did get a set for my Sebring Sprite, and so I'm just curious in terms of what people's experience has been. I got the car already, got it up on. It says start on the front end first before you do the rears. Just curious, have anyone have any experience with installing these Bilstein shocks, and any recommendations that you may have? Has anyone installed them?
I don't think so. No.
I haven't.
I do know some people in the big Heelys have installed them, so they've been great. I am doing it on Sprite, so just curious. Okay.
Okay,
Jeff
Bob
Rod-
Duffy.
Go
Bob
ahead.
Duffy bought a set from him when we were in Colorado Springs. And I believe they're on his BJ7. And he seems to like them. Hasn't had any problems that I've heard of.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and
everyone I've heard says good. I don't know anyone Sprites. Jeff Parada, do you have any experience with Sprites with those Putski shocks?
Not with those yet. We did a frontline set not too long ago, but I haven't dealt with those yet. Steve Kirby asked me to see if I could figure out if they'll work on a half elliptic car or not, but he just wanted to knock a couple $100 off the price for me to figure that out for him. So no, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, mine's a quarter elliptical car.
Yeah.
So, but it says start with the fronts first. So I'm going to do that on Friday. So, but I just didn't know if anyone had any experience or not.
I drove Duffy's car a large part of the way up to Sheboygan with Bob and back, and it handled really well. I didn't know he had the tube shocks on it, but his car handles really well. So Bob's just got to Florida, so they're snowbirds. So that's why he's not on the call.
Okay, thank you.
All right. All right. Well, does anybody that Mitch asked questions about porting and stuff, but since he's not on, but anybody got anything they want, any questions to throw out to the group? Don't everybody start at once.
Hey, Jake.
Yep.
This is Tom. I just wanted to follow up that I did connect with Ed Barnett. Remember, I had that choke problem.
Yes.
And on my 5706, and I was able to confirm that when my choke's full out, there's a little bit more travel at the carb. I'm not.
Okay.
And so I got the parts to do that. But in talking to Ed, I also, we talked about, like, I told him that when I bought my car, I had a lot of red in my fuel filter and I had a gas smell, and I replaced the fuel tank. And I think somebody tried to like patch it, from without taking the tank out. And I never really cleaned out. So he recommended I also do some stuff, make sure the fuel bowls don't have any residue in them and stuff like that. So anyways, I just wanted to close out that I think I've got a good list of things to
do.
What the heck?
Yeah. All right. Well, that's pretty good. So you said you're go ahead. I missed somebody. Okay. But Tom, you were saying that your gas tank was patched or something, and you think there might be residue.
Yeah, I know that. So when I bought the car, I thought I smelled some gas, but when I got home in my garage, oh my gosh, it was terrible. So I had the tank out and all redone. And what I think there's some kind of thing you can pour in the tank, and you can. I think that stuff's red. I have a feeling that somebody tried to patch it.
Yeah. Okay.
But I never got the residual out. I mean, I changed the fuel filter, but if there was any residual in there, I haven't really
okay
that out. Yeah. So
and in today's world, you can buy replacement tanks so damn cheap now that it's not worth trying to put because all that voodoo stuff just causes you problems. Because I did a lot of that when I was younger. But you think that your choke tank things, you've got that working in?
Yeah. It had about a quarter-inch more of travel at the lever, at the carb, and then I did start it at 45-degree temperature. With it fully thing, it started a lot better. I mean,
all right. Well, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah. So thanks.
Yeah, Tom, I don't think I mentioned, but my original tank had been reworked and patched with that chemical, and it failed. So yeah,
it failed.
Eventually think about probably just replacing the tank. Yeah, especially if you start having troubles.
Yeah.
And I had the same gas smell too. And when I changed out the new tank and put a new filler neck rubber tube on, I get zero gas smell now.
Yeah.
So, made a big difference.
Thanks.
Okay.
And my offer is still good to come out and visit you sometime if you need.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, because you guys are pretty close to each other.
Yeah, about 3 hours, something like that.
It's a nice drive.
Yeah.
Mine's a little bit rougher than yours, but yours looks really nice.
Yeah. Anybody got any? Yeah, go ahead.
I need to go. I need to help Joe with something.
Okay. Well, we'll see you sooner than later.
See you next time around.
Yep. Right. Or before.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
Got to figure out how to sign out.
The right corner, you just hit the X.
Yeah.
You'll sign out that way.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go.
Go ahead.
This is Kevin Livingston. I'm not sure
you
you saw
okay.
my chat to you, but I have a question that I want to pose to the team, if that's okay.
Well, let's go. Yeah, because if you sent me an email, I just got back from wrestling practice, so I went. Yeah. I can't. Anyway, go ahead.
No, I just sent it through the chat here. I didn't know if that popped up on you a little ago. But I'm reconditioning some big Healy rods, and there's markings on them, and I've read different things about the markings. So, like for instance, the set. If you pull a set out of if you have an engine that hasn't been touched and you pull it out, all the rods will have like a +20 or +19 or +1 whatever, and they need to be matched sets because when they apparently when they forged them, they were done at that time on this. I don't know if the same machines, but the markings look very similar on every single one, and the weights are fairly close. Typically, if you go and so I'll grab a set of rods that came out of one motor versus another, and there could be 80 grams difference between the sets. I don't know if anyone else, even though the numbers on the stamping on the side, the AC part numbers are all the same. And I started checking through these because I got one rod that I had to replace. And when I tore this engine apart, one of the rods was 38 grams heavier than the other 5 rods. I've never seen that in a motor. You'd think you'd feel it in the motor if that was the case, but then again, we have a gigantic heavy flywheel that might stop that. So my question to the team is, and another thing I noticed about the rods too, they're I-beam style rods, right? So if you go and take a mic to it, and the thickness of it or the width of it will vary on some of these rods up to 6 thousandths, I found. So they're not consistent. So my question is, I'm wondering if anyone else has found this, because I'm trying to balance a set here, and it's very difficult when you have too many grams to try and figure out where to grind off. But there's on the stamping on these rods on the side, it has the plus 20. Someone told me, oh yeah, that's how many grams difference it is. It can't be. It doesn't come out that way when I weigh out the rods. Didn't know if anyone knew about the plus 20 on the side. Plus on the top and on the bottom, you'll get a stamping too of another number, like a 30. Does anyone know about what these stampings represent? And it's the first question. The second question, has anyone else had issues trying to balance rods? I've done it in the past on 3 other motors, but I've ran out of rods to try and fish through to get the same weight. Just curious if anyone else has run into that with these connecting rods, and if they balanced them, where are they taking the weight off the big end from? Because there's just not any bossing at the bottom. Does anyone know about the markings?
Kevin, I don't know anything about the markings, but I have changed rods before, and I weigh them.
I am weighing them. That's the problem, is I'm trying to balance them, and I never had a motor that had one rod that was 38 grams heavier than the others. They're usually within 5 grams, right, on a Healy motor.
I would say yes. I mean, they're truck motors, but to have it that far off, yeah, that's uncalled for.
But yet the stampings on the side on every single one of these are plus 20, and then there's also marking on the top and bottom. But I think that top on the big end on the top within the I-beam, there's a stamping there, and there's a stamping on the cap. And I think those 2 stampings has something to do with the representation of they go together. The plus 20, I have no clue what that's really for.
Yeah, I don't
Don,
either.
have you come across that? Okay.
I've got my engine apart right now, and I'm switching over to a whole new set that I've weighed already.
To a stock type set or to an aftermarket type set?
It's a stock set.
And did you balance them yourself, or did you send them out or something?
I balanced them myself, and I took the weight off the bottom.
So on the bottom of just so everyone knows, if they're not familiar, the cap on the bottom of on a big Healy has a from the forging process, it has a casting on the bottom that you could, or I don't want to say casting, it's forging, but where it sticks out, and that's the only place that I can think that you can grind off it. You really want to at the very bottom when you're doing the balancing. So Don, is that, you can't take too much off without compromising the rod. So, but that's where you're taking it from, right?
Yes, but I also take it from the side, from the casting flashings on the side. I'll grind those down and make it a nicer finish if I have one that's too heavy.
Right. So all my rods, I've done that too. That's old school from my days of racing back in the 80s with LT1 motors. But yeah, I did the same thing. I took off all that flashing to get rid of them. Every single rod I did that to the top of it. Then I'll go and weigh the small end and grind off the top and get them all balanced. And then you go to the bottom end and have the ground. There's no real good bossing them. But so in order to get them all to the same weight, so I don't have to take much off, that's why I took off all that casting and being very careful on that. But
So Don, how close did you get all your rods?
As close as I can. I use a postage meter to weigh them with, and I'll get them pretty, I mean, just very close.
so previously, just the answer from my perspective, what I've done is the scale I have is actually for measuring gold. So it's it goes
Pretty
down
accurate.
really low. So I balance my rods to within a half gram, so plus or minus. But usually I'm even under a half gram, or excuse me, I'm under a gram. But I balance it to a half gram in the past. This set of rods that I have here, that it all came out of one motor, I can't even get that close at all on these, so I'm gonna have to go find some other ones. But so the 3 motors that I've done, I also had another motor that I couldn't quite get that far. So it was like a gram and a half difference between my heaviest and lightest. The small end was all within a half gram though. So when you do the balancing on the apparatus that I have, you're weighing the small end first. That one I make sure it's definitely down to a half gram. And then when you do the indifference and you weigh the whole rod, which is basically the difference between the front and the small and the large, then I'll grind off the bottom, try and get it within it. So basically I'm weighing that front one, get them all the same. And then what I'll do is I'll weigh the whole rod and I'll grind off the big end to get them the rest of the way balanced. If that's answering whoever was asking the question, that answers your question. But I've never had rods like these Healy ones where they vary so much.
Drill holes in them.
Yeah, that's an idea. So no one knows what those markings are for, huh? All righty.
Maybe look at that Norman Knock book that Jake recommended.
You know what? I went. You talking about all the articles, right?
Yep.
I must have missed that part. I did go through there looking through it. I kind of inherited it from a previous member, and I'm gonna say it was like a ditto machine. They must have ran it through, and it's very hard to read the copy I have. But I did go looking through it, trying to see if there was anything in there. So far, I haven't found anything.
Have you gone to on our Healy website? Have you gone to the historical on the Healy marks? You can go through, put in a question there as it relates to rods. Someone may have had a article in the past about that. It even includes the old chatters in there.
Right. I have used that in the past, but I have not. No, that's not true. I did put in connecting rods. A lot of articles came up for that, and I have not gone through them all. But that's a very good point. I should try and check that out. Also, is it TSD? Who's the group out on the East Coast that we do the enclave with? That group.
Sports and Touring.
Yeah, Sports and Touring. They had lots of articles too on different things that I started going through and looking or doing searches on their site to see if I can find it. Because someone has to know what that means. But the main thing is when you take out a set of rods, even though it has that the part number casted into it, or I keep saying casted, but it's in it, doesn't mean they're all the same. They'll vary. I can't believe the difference but from my lightest to probably my heaviest, it's 80, 90 grams between sets of rods. And so I don't know what the only thing I can figure, and also when like I said, I measured the thickness of that beam. They vary between sets. So if I have a set, they're all about the same. But if I go and grab another set from another motor, same casting numbers, right? They'll vary widely. And it has to do something with that plus 20, I got to believe, or plus 19 and plus 17 that are stamped on the sets. All right. Well, thanks for the answers, or thanks for some of the suggestions that you guys have given me. I appreciate it.
Hey, Kevin.
Yes, sir.
I just for the hell of it, I Googled connecting rod markings, and it came up with a whole bunch of different classifications and different types of markings, including letter codes for weight markings and all kinds of stuff that I didn't know about. And
is that for Healy specifically, or are you talking about
no,
in general?
no, this was just general, just to get me in the neighborhood of, what the numbers could possibly mean.
Right,
So,
because like my LT1 rods that I used to race way back when.
Yeah.
They were like a gram stamping that they had on it. But yeah, if you don't mind, whatever that is, I probably already seen it. I'm thinking, but if you don't mind, if you text it to me or send it to me, because I know you have my.
I can. Yeah, I'll do that.
Take a look at that.
At the bottom of the article, it said the key takeaway: do not mix. Never interchange rods between cylinders or mix up the caps and the rods, even if they seem similar.
Well, they do have the stamping on the side for the top and bottom. For the caps. Yeah, you definitely don't want to do that.
Yeah, I'll text it up to you, Kevin.
All right, appreciate it.
Anybody got any cool projects going on? This is wintertime and you can't get, well, unless you're in Florida.
Does anybody here have any experience with sheet metal adhesives rather than welding repairs using the adhesives that have come online with the new cars to hold the body panels on?
I'll give you a story on that. I picked up a Healy and they used zip ties, rivets, and what I think is some kind of hardware type glue. And they stuck all the panels together. I got this car. It was just a cobbled thing. And the panels were all new though, the floor pans. And when I tried to take it apart with that adhesive that they used on it, I don't swear much, but I was swearing a whole lot trying to get it apart to try and save the panels. I could not believe how strong it was structurally using whatever glue they used. And this was a flipper car that someone had. And I ruined every single panel I tried to tear apart. It is strong. And I'm in the automotive, or was in the automotive industry. I retired from General Motors. But, we use adhesives for everything. I am extremely impressed with using adhesives and how strong it is. But you got to make sure you get the right type of stuff that we mainly use, like for 3M and stuff like that in the past.
Right.
Is that what you're alluding to?
Yes. In fact, the 3M products are what we're leaning towards using. And I was in a shop where was an Alfa Romeo shop, and they had put a whole doghouse on this car with the adhesive, and later determined that that the chassis was not straight, and they pulled on the body panels with the adhesive and straightened the chassis.
Yeah.
And it was pretty impressive.
Wow.
So I was just wondering if anybody else had any experience with this, because it could be saving for, patch repairs and that sort of activity where you don't want to warp a panel with the heat from the welding or have to go through all the added expense and processes of repainting after heating your panels. So that was the nature of my question.
Well,
We're getting
structural
ready to do-
integrity stuff needs to be engineered, obviously. So if you do it, I wouldn't do it unless it was, or at least on structural integrity parts that, you know what I mean? Because those are engineered unless you're an engineer. But I was just so impressed after the fact, after I ruined every single panel, ripped off this car to try and reuse in the restoration, how good it bonded together. And they do like dent repairs.
Right.
People use bonding material. That's also what you're alluding to. And it works too to pull out dents.
Right. Yeah. We're looking mostly at patch panel and patch repairs with it. And but thanks for your feedback. That's good to know.
Instead of welding on the patch, so you're going to put a patch panel in and just glue it or bond it then? Is what you're wanting to do instead of welding it?
Right, because they're not structural. It's just coach work. So the cars have tube frames, so you don't need to,
Is it exterior panels that be seen where the two are bonded together?
Yeah.
The only thing I'd worry about, I'd find something that's designed for doing that. That's for sure. Because even
right.
like when
Well,
people
we're
weld,
looking at the 3M products right now. They make a pretty good line for the automotive industry. So that seems to be it. We're just finishing some work on a car that somebody went to Home Depot, and I'm not sure what aerosol foam glue they got to put the trim strips back on with, but it has failed. So anyway, we're not looking at that. We're looking at genuine automotive products, and you mentioned the 3M products, and that seems to be the industry leader right now.
Yeah, that's what we're looking at doing. That we've got a Tiger in the shop. On the Tiger where like the fender meets the cow, it's got that little joint. We asked Doug Jennings about that, and he said never take them apart because there's no way to get them back together. But the car we're working on, it was already apart, and my body guy came through working in the body world, training in that, and he said, well, there's all these 3M products that are made to glue the panels together, so why don't we just glue it?
Right.
We're not there yet, but it's probably going to happen the next month.
Okay. Yeah. Keep us updated.
Sure.
Yeah, the only caution that I mean, we used 3M all the time for different things. When I was working at General Motors, but anything that shows paint that you're going to paint over that with, in other words, a seam that's been bonded, if the two metals, they shouldn't move. But I'm just thinking if they're not welded, the only places I would use it is places where it won't be seen or shift, where you'll have show cracks later on down the road when the car's painted a year later. You know what I'm saying?
There are different adhesives. Some of them are flexible. Other ones create a solid bond. And so seems to be that any exterior panels, you use the stiffer of the adhesives versus the more flexible adhesives. And that's probably the reason there. I hadn't really thought about it.
Cool.
Yeah, let me know what you end up using. That'd be interesting. Both of you two.
Yeah,
Jeff.
I'll update the group as we go through and make the usual cacophony of mistakes to get to the results that we desire.
I can show you lots of them. Come to my house.
So, Paulette, you were going to say something about a while back. And
Well, Charlie has a wedding in October.
I don't have a wedding.
Yes, you are. You have a wedding for your son.
Oh.
And so Aiden said, well, is my car going to be ready, Dad?
So Charlie's your son's getting married?
Yeah, I'm trying to get unmuted here.
Okay.
Well, there you go.
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Wow.
Aiden's getting married and he wants this car in his wedding.
Well, I thought he was a Cub Scout.
No, not anymore.
Wow. Time flies, man.
Yes,
It
it
just-
does, doesn't it?
It's scary.
No, he's living on his own.
Wow.
So yeah, we got the car switched out and now we just got to put it together. It was a project that Dad started.
Yeah, but he left you two of them, didn't he? Or
Three of them.
three of them? Okay.
Yeah, one for each kid.
Yeah. All right.
Thank goodness you didn't have more kids, Charlie.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, I know.
Wow.
So yeah, I may be coming up with questions later on.
Okay.
Charlie, join the Ohio Valley Osahealy Club and we'll come up there and help you.
I think
All right,
I think
there we go.
Yeah.
I think he by default you're still dating as well, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm still in Dayton.
He's dating.
Yep, I'm not too far.
So yeah, he's an extended member. So
Mhm.
wow.
Yep, so that's the project this winter.
The engine is together. That was the last engine that Gary made with the boys.
Yeah.
So his engine's all ready.
Wow. Okay.
And it
Yep.
was on a machine and run already.
Wow. Well, if you in the future, if you want, you get your other Sprite engines. Jeff's just about ready with his. He's got a engine dynamo that's got a 1275 connection thing to it, and we think we're going to test an engine this Friday, huh? You want to tell them a little bit about that?
We're hoping.
Yeah.
Tomorrow might be a long day to get ready for that, but the hope is I leave Friday or Thursday with the motor on it ready to go. My dad's electronics guru, so we'll run it with him on Friday and make sure all the electronic side's doing what it should.
Yeah. So this engine dyno will definitely have what do you call them, connectors or whatever for Sprite motors and Big Healy motors, because Jeff's racing and blowing up motors in the summer, so he wants to be able to test it in the winter. And then him and his machinist, they built me an engine after I blew the one that Don built me a while back, and we're making adapters for it, so it's going to be run in on the dynamo, and I'm upgrading my fuel injection, so we're going to be able to tune that on the dynamos before I put it in a car. So I'm really excited about that and stuff. So if you're ever in the Norwood area, you should stop in and see Jeff. He's got a lot of neat stuff.
Oh yeah.
Stuff and junk,
We
whatever you
know.
want to call it, but it's good stuff.
So what sort of horsepower do you get on fuel injection, Jake?
I have no idea, but we're going to find.
Okay.
My first go around is I worked with a guy up in Detroit, and it was a 1990 version, and that that era, you had to have all kinds of equipment. So I never got that one it never ran like I expected it to. And then and I would have to take it up to Detroit for him to play with it. So, and the first time I took it up there, I found out that I put too big of a cam in it to put fuel injection in it. And then I came back and put the right cam in it, and stock cam, and then I went back up. So every time I had him touch it, it was like a $1,500 deal because I had to, you drive up to Detroit. It's not a, it's a 5-hour trip. Then it's an overnight kind of a deal. Then you're paying for dyno time, and it's just. So when I blew the engine up, I said, well, I'm going to get into the modern world. And so I'm putting a Megasquirt in it, which is probably about 2020 technology. And with Jeff's dyno, we'll be able to figure out stuff. And I think I got a smart guy locally that knows how to tune it. I know enough to be dangerous, and I'm stupid enough to spend the money to try to make it work. I found a guy that was about an hour away that is an engineer and does this stuff for a hobby on Megasquirts. There's a lot of Miatas that run Megasquirts and stuff. So I will let you know. We expect to have it tuned probably by the end of March because I'm hoping to drive it in April.
Right.
So that'd be 2 calls from now, I think.
Got to live stream it when you guys tune it on Just Dyno.
Well, that's not a bad idea.
Take some videos.
Yeah.
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 Pretty cool.
It's a pay thing. Get some of your money back, Jake.
No, he never. Yeah, this is. I'm spending Jennifer and John's inheritance is what I'm doing. Yeah, they make enough on their own. They don't need any of mine. And anyway, we won't talk about the financial side of my projects. My wife might hear me. Anybody else got anything they want to talk about?
Jake, it's Steve Halleck.
Yes, sir.
Just a question for Sprite folks. Looking to put a header on the car, so I'll have to redo the exhaust system. And just wondering what muffler people would recommend. I don't want a loud car.
So Jeff can tell you this. We run RC40s. If you get the Vizard book, he's got it. It's got all kinds of neat stuff. But he tested everything on these A series motors, and he recommends an RC40 that was made for minis, and they're relatively cheap. I think Jeff can get them for you. And also, if you're going to put a header on it, you want to go to is it 1.75, Jeff?
Yeah,
1 3/4, an inch and 3/4 pipes.
Right.
I personally like pace setter headers, but Jeff's got a whole bunch of different ones. So I'll shut up for a while and let Jeff talk because he he knows his shit down. Okay.
Well, you can buy the one I sell as far as header, or you can buy the one that Moss makes that doesn't fit right. That's a poor copy of ours.
Well, you're probably getting my money, Jeff.
And then, like he said, the RC40 is the muffler I've put on several customers' cars. That's what's on my car. That's what we've got on the race car. I'm sure you've heard my car. It's not loud, but it's not completely silent. That's his best recommendation as far as getting rid of noise and still making power. There's one that made more power, but it makes significantly more noise. I don't remember what that was. I think it was like a MagnaFlow or some American brand, I think. I can tell you right now, I'm out of RC40s, but I have 3 that were supposed to be delivered today. So hopefully I get them tomorrow.
Okay.
So Jeff, do you just get the individual muffler, or do you get that? When I put mine on back in the day, that I got a kit for a mini, and it had like one of those little resonator things, like a Big Healy's got.
No,
or do they just sell the individuals? Okay.
You can buy it with that other piece, but it doesn't really fit our cars right. You got to do a lot of work to make it fit.
Yeah, because on one of my they are not loud, but if you do want to tone it down just a little bit more, for the minis they make a resonator, and the later midgets had that muffler system similar to what the big Heelys do, where you have one on the side and then one that goes across the back. Yeah, in back of the exhaust or the fuel tank. If you're trying to get it a little bit quieter, but the RC40 by itself without anything is not obtrusive at all. Because I probably put about 6 of them on. John would buy and sell different midgets, and I'd fix them, and then he'd sell them. And if Jeff can make you a pipe as well, a J pipe for the sprites.
Okay.
Sprigit.com.
Yeah.
For Jeff. Sprigit.com.
I'm very
He knows how
aware.
to find
Yeah. Steve spent a few dollars with him, I think.
Yeah. Some in person.
Yeah.
It's a short drive.
Yeah. Well, and that to give you can come and see that this dynamo is really cool, and he's got some neat projects going on in as well. He's got his Spritzel Sprite in there, don't you?
Yeah.
And a few other things. Pretty cool.
He's got a paint booth too.
Go ahead, Dale.
He has a paint booth also now.
Yeah. He had that the last time I was there.
Steve, if you want to you do some reading over the winter, I have Wizard's books, so let me know.
Okay. Thanks, Bob.
Jake, thanks. I'm going to have to sign off here.
Okay. Anybody got anything else they want to talk about, or do you want to go watch Jeopardy or whatever? Paulette.
Yeah, no, I'm fine. I just called.
Well, I don't know. You greened up on my screen, and I'm still figuring this stuff out.
I moved and I coughed. And
Uh-oh. There you go.
So is February 4th going to be the next meeting, Jake?
Yeah, if that's the whatever Wednesday.
The first Wednesday?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. You know, the other thing what I'll do is since you're going to have this recurring, I will put this out on our website as well. So we'll have the Zoom link there all the time.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, I've done that with the Northeast Club already, but I'll add yours there too.
All right. And now, I need to send Zoom will tell me about the audio and that AI stuff.
Companion. Yeah, AI companion. So why don't you go through and then you can edit that, you know, bring it into a Word document and then edit it. And then if you want, when you get the link there, send that to me and I'll put it up on YouTube for you to put it onto the website.
So, and you did get what I did. I thought I did do that last time, didn't I?
You did. Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yep.
All right.
Perfect. Just like
Okay.
last month.
Okay.
Yep.
All
Good.
right. Does anybody else got anything? Well,
I don't.
all right. Well, I forgot to wish everybody a happy New Year. So happy New Year related, and I maybe hopefully we'll see you in February or before.
Sounds good. Thanks,
Okay.
Jake.
All right.
All right.
Good night.
Bye.
Thanks, Jake.
Good night.
We'll see you. Night.
Bye-bye.
All right. So now how the hell do I get out of here?
And you are still talking. You know.
$64 question, Jake.
Oh, okay. Now I can't hear you.
Wait. Okay, come on.
So we can't figure out how to turn these things off, can we? Come on. How do you do this? By default. How in the hell where's it go? Oh, these things. All right, you're gonna